Hey folks, MasakoX here. I'd like to point you out to my brand new, newly minted, refreshed Patreon at patreon.com/MasakoX, where there are 2 simple tiers where you can pledge to just help continue to get this channel chugging along. I really appreciate you taking the time to consider it, and right now, let's get on. After a rather brutal encounter with a certain turtle napper, Zamasu, Bulma, and their new pet companion decided to travel to Kame House. The girl and the Kai-possessed body of the boy had hoped to gain a prize for rescuing the poor creature from its doom. As the dragon radar was showing them the readouts of a nearby Dragon Ball, they started realizing just what they could ask for. It made sense for Zamasu. If Grandpa Gohan was entrusted with one of these orbs, it seemed obvious that his old mentor could be in the possession of another one. They had to hide the bike in the capsule though, of course, as traversing the beach on the vehicle would not exactly be a smart idea. Soon, they saw the unassuming bald, bearded elderly man in a rather colourful shirt, shades covering his eyes, and a weird shell-shaped adornment on his back.
Ah, here you are, buddy. I was getting worried. Why are you bringing children to my spot?
Master Roshi, these 2 saved me from a mook that was trying to kidnap me.
Oh, he did. The old man raised an eyebrow. Well, you have my thanks for coming to the aid of my dearest friend. Give me a moment. I wish to give you something.
See, we did a good thing. He's going to give us a Dragon Ball, Bulma whispered excitedly to Zamasu.
I hope so. Otherwise, that would be a waste of time,
he responded, and soon the man was back with a magic cloud. There was a slight look of disappointment on the young'uns' faces.
What is that?
Zamasu said rather curtly.
Oh, this? My young friend, Flying Nimbus. It allows a pure-hearted person to ride it.
The geezer tried to demonstrate by jumping on it, but he just fell straight through it.
See? My heart's not exactly pure anymore. Too many magazines, if you know what I mean. Come on, you try.
Zamasu looked at Bulma and tried to climb on the cloud, only to fall through it.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
He hissed, this disgusting old man starting to irritate him.
Well, how about you, young lady? You've surely got a pure heart.
Roshi scratched his head.
Oh, I'm pretty sure my heart is not that pure.
Well, this is awkward. I thought this would be an excellent gift for the pair of you.
How about your Dragon Ball?
Zamasu asked directly, trying to brush this off, and there was a dangerous flash in the shades of the old man. Zamasu had noticed that he had nervously touched a necklace that was hidden under a shirt.
What did you just say?
You know, your Dragon Ball. My grandfather Gohan already gave us his.
Zamasu changed tactics, thinking that maybe this old man was heading for the defensive.
You're Gohan's boy. Goku, any chance?
Roshi's demeanor changed drastically. There was something inquisitive about him. Yes? The Kai was kind of shocked by how intense this old coot had suddenly become.
You seem unconvinced.
Roshi lowered his voice.
I am. And we saved your turtle friend. Don't you think we should get a reward?
Goku, maybe don't push it that much, Bulma started.
And I offered you a reward, but it has shown that you do not have the purest of hearts.
Well, neither do you, old man.
Zamasu glared at him. He didn't know if this damn cloud was even real. How could it judge him, a god? How could it judge him as unpure? He was bawling inside, but part of him felt that the old man was sensing this, so he decided to remain calm, play it cool.
I am much older than you. I had a lot of time to take my soul a little bit, but you, at such a young age.
You're a martial arts master, aren't you? You could test me, and I could show you my worthiness of the orb,
Zamasu said, looking at him with a little bit of venom.
That's actually not a bad idea. This way you could prove to me that you really are Gohan's boy and not some imposter. Come on, walk with me.
As they went further, the beach became more remote from nearby obstacles. When that happened, the man moved and cupped 2 of his hands to his side. For a moment, Zamasu was Rather confused, then a tiny spark of ki appeared between them. He finally understood. That's where he got it. While he hadn't experienced the technique himself, during his brief encounter with the Saiyan, in his rather short research about the old man, he had heard about the signature attack, the Kamehameha. This was the source. Not some ancient Saiyan knowledge, just this weird old man on a beach. But that wasn't the only thing that appeared to be rather striking. This annoying and slightly debauched elder, this Roshi, had grown slightly, showing a more impressive musculature. The blue light quickly began to become blinding. As he opened his mouth, he yelled, Kamehameha! And a beam of pure ki blasted over the sea. It was rather spectacular, even for Zamasu's tastes, who wasn't so fond of mortals and their trickery like this. After releasing the beam, Roshi took some quick breaths.
So, this is it. My most special technique. If you really are Gohan's young'un, then, well, you'll be able to figure out with me trying. It only took me 50 years to master it.
He grinned, thinking the challenge would be impossible. That was to be expected. He wanted to see him fail. This annoying relic had placed a challenge before him that was designed to be impossible. He was being set up, Zamasu thought. Well, maybe impossible for a lowly child, but not for a god. He focused on the movements of the old man as he recalled them, every single thing that he had done. He knew that Son Goku had figured it out, and he doubted it took him 50 years or whatever long period these pathetic mortal lives would need or would last. He took his palms, the same way Roshi did, and started to focus his energy. To the old master's utter shock, the energy started to gather. It was a weird sensation for Zamasu, almost as if this trick was made for this body, like it came naturally. The power in between his palms gathered organically, as it belonged there. If any leftover energy tried to escape, it was being pulled within the bright blue orb he had managed to gather. Then, even if it felt a little ridiculous, he started to chant. Kame. Bulma was watching this from afar with her eyes the size of Dragon Balls right now. Goku, how do you... Kame.
Boy, I was merely joking.
Roshi paled more and more. Ah! The scream caused some of the seagulls nearby to disperse as the powerful blue beam blasted from the hands of Goku's small stature. The beam roared over the sea, attracting some of the water in its wake. After a few seconds, they could see a radiant, distant explosion. Zamasu then lowered his hands and without skipping a beat, looked to Roshi. Done, he said, not even looking remotely tired. Although deep inside, he felt it more than he really should have. This felt weird, but he had to admit, there was something rather satisfying doing this. The old master grabbed his necklace and simply yanked it off. Unsurprisingly, it had a Dragon Ball within it. He just handed it to the boy, without a word. Zamasu looked at the 3 stars on its surface. Yep, this looked like the real deal. Thank you, Master Roshi. He allowed himself to give a minimal amount of courtesy to the old man, whilst also sounding like a rich, posh toff.
Listen, if you even want to, hone your abilities, it's been a while since I trained anyone.
The turtle helmet was still exhausted, scratching his head. Initially, this proposition sounded reclusive, but Zamasu had a feeling that Son Goku was meant to undergo more training, this particular training, had he not been tampered with. And this unassuming old man could be one of the ways he could really unlock the true potential of this body, should the Dragon Balls fail to get him back into his body. I'll think about it, he nodded slowly.
Good. I could use a skilled student.
So, are you two finally done showing off? Can we continue with the journey?
Bulma asked impatiently, seeing these two people compare Kamehamehas was getting rather boring.
I don't see you helping,
Zamasu shrugged. But before Bulma could clap back at this annoying remark, the 3 of them could then hear the voice of Turtle again.
Oh, Master Roshi, come quick. There's an alligator and some weird people around the island.
Oh, no. I gotta check it out there. Mind going with me? Could do with some backup.
Whilst Zamasu considered this maybe a waste of time, he felt that he needed to at least try and act more like Son Goku. He'd almost been rumbled. Whatever this would be, just do it. So he decided to follow. To get them over the water, Bulma utilized a jet ski that was in one of her handy-dandy capsules. Part of him admired this ingenuity. Maybe if she fixed that awful personalities of her, she could be maybe spared as well of the Zero Mortal plan. After all, it would be hard not to admire certain craftiness that this girl possessed. It was certainly more worthwhile than the brutality of all the barbary that he had witnessed in the past. There was something to Bulma. And as they arrived at the island, they witnessed a small imp-like creature accompanied by a dog and a woman who were threatening an alligator with a switchblade. There was also a dark green boat or a tiny ship that seemed like it was built from the cockpit of a rather defunct aeroplane.
I am asking you once again, where are the Dragon Balls?
The voice of this entity was annoyingly squeaky.
I saw it. Around that guy.
He pointed at Roshi as he arrived, though the old man seemed rather unfazed.
So we finally got you. Hand over the Dragon Ball or else.
I don't have it anymore. I handed it over to this boy.
Roshi pointed at Zamasu calmly. What? Was that geezer insane, thought this imp? Or had he just wanted to give these mooks a lesson?
Hand over your Dragon Ball to me, Emperor Pilaf.
The imp pointed the blade at him.
You do not look like an emperor.
Zamasu said, completely unimpressed by Pilaf's stature and demeanor. In fact, he made him rethink the Zero Mortals plan again and made him think that maybe this was a good idea after all if people like that did not exist.
How dare you? Who do you think you are, you annoying little ape? Shoo! Teach this one some manners.
Oh, well, so you're not even bothering to stand against me yourself, calling your cronies to do the job for you?
Oh, Zamasu yawned.
They look even more pathetic than you.
Oh my, he's disrespecting us. I'll show him.
Shu felt a tiny little bit intimidated, but grabbed his katana in order to strike the unsubordinated monkey boy. Meanwhile, Mai aimed just a gun at Goku. Zamasu only smirked and waited for the dog ninja to make a move. He didn't even have to anticipate the attack for long, as he went on with a full slice which he dodged skillfully. The Kai then decided that he had a playful streak about him in that moment and slapped him at his back, using his tail as a whip.
Hey, unfair! You!
Shu squealed. Mai then decided to blast the gun, but Zamasu jumped over and cut the barrel of a gun just with a simple keyblade. She panicked and dropped the weapon, while Shu attempted to cut from behind. The deity decided not to give him any chances to do any damage and managed to get one twice. First, he cut Shu's blade in half at the edge of his ki attack, and then before the ninja could even realize what had happened, he went for his hand. The dog screamed loudly, seeing as his palm was still holding the handle of his trusty katana. Gon, detached from his body, collapsed on the floor. The warm wave of unbearable pain came later, as both Mai and Pilaf paled. Zamasu was ready to kill, but Roshi had to stop with a stern tone.
That's enough, Goku. I think you've proven your point.
These common thieves threatened you, and that poor creature with a knife, and now you want me to stop? Huh. They will never learn.
Roshi's eyebrows furrowed.
Maybe they will. You three, leave before he changes his mind.
Oh! Oh! Shu was yelling and crying and looked panicked, fearing for his life.
Don't you worry, Shu. If we find the hospital, I'm quite sure that doctors can sew it back on. Yes.
Then Mai picked up the hand in total panic, her skin white as the walls. My emperor, what are our orders? Pilaf then seemed the most scared of the whole three. He was paralyzed with fear, looking at this little ape boy with this non-material blade who just completely disarmed one of his two loyal subjects with only a few moves. Oh no!
Pilaf, damn it! What are we supposed to do?
Mai screamed.
Run!
Pilaf started running toward the boat, with the taller of his minions grabbing the shorter one and his missing appendage, and packed him into the boat, them just going whoosh. Sadly though, it seemed that the boat appeared to be stuck.
Oh, this is rather awkward. Would you mind?
The old man hit the boat with the staff, sending them into a wild ride atop the waves. For a moment, they could still hear their screams, especially Shu's.
That was Unnecessarily morbid?
Bulma exclaimed.
You didn't mind when I dealt with that bandit that attacked the turtle, Zamasu shrugged. He was a large bully. That was just a little dog. They attacked first. They should consider themselves lucky that they managed to get out of here alive, the old man stepping in. Anyway, we should go and find the rest of the Dragon Balls. Yes, we should.
Bulma gulped loudly, a little bit scared.
Thank you for your cooperation, Roshi. I will remember this.
Zamasu said to the elderly man.
And I will rethink the proposition.
Goku! Wait! Again, it took him a second to remind himself that Roshi was talking to him.
Yes?
He tilted his head. I don't know why, but there is a lot of anger within you. I get it. We all have our demons, but do not let it consume you. That will not lead you anywhere good. There was a moment of silence. It reminded him of something. For a moment, he felt and smelt a scent of tea and the face of another old man appearing before his eyes.
Thank you for the advice, but I will be the judge of that. Still, good luck, old man.
As they jumped aboard the jet ski, Turtle and Roshi watched the two of them disappear over the horizon.
Well, what are you thinking of, Master?
The reptilian companion of the hermit asked. I don't know, old pal, but for some reason, I got a really weird feeling about these things, and they're not what they're supposed to be. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.